War Powers Act switched back to Congress. I'm glad I pushed it. Now we're here, hearing from the constituents, and I said they are strongly appalled by the use of chemical weapons and the loss of humanity, but they are very skeptical of the course of action.
Well, the policies, I think, of both parties over the last 10 or 12 years have undermined U.S. prestige. And I do, with all respect, think that President Obama's policies and those that you've supported have put us in a tough spot in the Middle East. The place is on fire and the Muslim Brotherhood is rising up.
What specific policy are you talking about?
I'm talking about all of them. Look,
Specifically, you have to start specific. You can't do a general word salad.
I think when we have, for instance, when we have dictators in places like Yemen, Egypt, and even Libya, those are people that were either neutral or pro-West or pro-United States. We've undermined them and allowed rebels to take over. And what's happened, sir?
How did we use that when the Arab Spring?
What's happened, sir, is that the Muslim Brotherhood has risen up. Christians are being slaughtered, and U.S. prestige has been
So what would you do
undermined.
in Syria?
I would not support the president's resolution in Syria.
Okay, and what would be then, because you're going to be asked that, with that being one option, then what do you do moving forward after that?
Well, that's what's on the table, isn't that what we're talking about today?
We're talking about the resolution here. We've taken it by bringing it back for the first time in 40 years, back to the Congress to have it debated, back to the war powers there. It's starting to, these people are skeptical because we went to Iraq on false pretenses. There's a lot of that made them skeptical. They also, though, are believers that people have the opportunity to live in freedom and they want to see young children grow up in peaceful situations. They also recognize that we're not going to do it alone, but we are going to have leadership in this. So the question being on this is, the use of chemical weapons on innocent civilians has been prohibited since 1925 with Geneva Protocols. Now, those who've come in and said it's happened before, it has happened before. Now, the United States, when someone asks, what is our responsibility in this, is I would argue our responsibility is to build an international coalition that rids the world of these weapons and brings about a broader, peaceful solution. But we have watched 2 decades of undermining any type of global cooperation through the UN. The UN was demonized in any way they can go. They're very ineffective. I certainly wouldn't say that, but we've got folks believing that they're going to change U.S. policy. We need the UN now to lead coalitions, to put the pressure on. The G20 is meeting in Russia. It should be G19 telling the Russians if they don't stop their support of this regime, they're going to pay the price economically. Those are the types of policies that I've been advocating for.
You know, I think what's interesting, though, is when you took office and then President Obama was elected, we were told that these new policies were going to lead the world. They were going to bring everybody behind us. We were going to rally support. It wasn't going to be like Bush where we went it alone. Now it looks like we're going it alone. So
we're not going anywhere now. We're going to a conversation with the democracy because I asked for us to have it. That's something that never happened before.
But the British and others aren't even with us on this if you do vote for the resolution. So I think that the president's policies have failed in this area. But it's with respect that I say
Well, I appreciate it.
Hey,
So
thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.